Borrowed a Nissan Maxima in order to do a little bit more of a review on it, and I'm going to obviously write a review to add to my completely unprofessional review of the Nissan Maxima. And one of the things that I am very specific on is that I think that the car is ugly. Now, some people may disagree with me, but I really believe the car is ugly. Sorry, it's ugly. There's too much going on. There's too much busyness in the C pillar, the B pillar, the A pillar. I'm really sorry. It's an ugly car. I'm really sorry. Now this one right here has the darker black interior rather than the tan interior, such as the one that I did my completely unprofessional review on, which had a nice tan cashmere-ish interior. But this one's more like the one that I first started my review on, the SV. And this right here is a loaded version. This is a platinum. But I'm really sorry, it's ugly. I mean, you know, it has everything you would check off if you were buying a $38,000 car. It has the heated cooled seats, it has the panoramic roof, but it's an ugly car. The CVT is not a good transmission. And on top of that, Nissan just recently placed a hold and a recall on the cars for an unspecified quality control issue. And I'm going to post a link to the Truth About Cars where you can read about that. And me personally, driving around in this thing, you know, just to get more of a feel for it, I haven't been impressed. And partially it's because there feels like a disconnect between the engine and the CVT. I'm really sorry, but that's just what it is. So anybody who, you know, wants to, you know, not agree with me, well, that's your choice not to agree with me, but I'm just telling you like it is. Sorry. While the interior upgrades of the Maxima do make it a lot better than the old outgoing Maxima, the simple fact is the driving experience is what makes me not like this car. Not only that, the interior space really isn't that great if you have a family of 4 or possibly 5.
Show me.
Subaru, the Chrysler 200, and the Hyundai Genesis offer you an all-wheel drive unit. Why can't Nissan offer you an all-wheel drive with a V6 like they offer in their Nissan GTR? If you're willing to pay a little bit more on your lease or finance, you'll find the Genesis V6 3.8 a much better car. You can equip it with nav, ultra view moonroof and everything, and you'll pay about $5,000 more. But you can get all-wheel drive V6 with a powerful 3.8 liter V6, and on top of that, a far more spacious and more luxurious interior. And when I say luxurious, I'm talking about BMW level. Now, Genesis loader is $45,630, so that's about $6,000 more than the Maxima. Now, the option is to get the Azera, and the Azera pretty much offers everything that the Maxima offers at $36,000. This is the interior of the Genesis. You see this? Moonroof, everything. This is a 3.8 with all-wheel drive. The Maxima, stupidly, Nissan does not offer all-wheel drive on a Maxima. If they offered all-wheel drive on a Maxima, you'd have all-wheel drive. And the thing about it is, let's see what this looks like. You know, as a passenger, this is an awesome looking car. I've already made a driving video of the Azera and the Genesis, and even for the newest model of 2015, it's still a fantastic smooth ride, and it really feels like a luxury car. It even has a great speaker system and great equipment options. As some of you may know, I am into driving every single new car, and I only purchase the ones that I feel offer the best value. The Hyundai Genesis, as much as I don't like imported cars, the Hyundai Genesis is a fantastic family sedan that blows the Maxima away in various respects. If that's too expensive for you, you should also look at the new Hyundai Sonata, which, because of its brand new larger size and more equipment, replaces the Azera. Any criticism that's targeted at the Sonata will most likely be focused on the electronic steering. Like the Sonata it replaced, the outgoing model, both of these cars have electric steering. And the thing about electric steering, especially in a front-wheel drive car, is it's not extraordinarily engaging when you're on the road. The thing about it is, when you're sitting in traffic or you're driving along and then your mind, you're really focused on fuel economy and interior space, having a more spacious interior and having an interior that offers more in the way of luxury features is probably going to be more on your mind than the drive. I keep saying this, but the driving experience in the Maxima is just not that great. It's mostly because of the CVT transmission. If Nissan didn't use the CVT and used a regular automatic, just like you find in the Sonata or just like you find in the Genesis, the driving experience wouldn't be so bad. An all-wheel drive car has a different driving experience than a front-wheel drive car simply because the weight balancing is a lot different. But there are options out there if you're willing to cross-shop. And one of the things that I enjoy doing on YouTube, besides getting paid to do these little capsule reviews and talks about cars, is driving each car. So the question is, which would you rather have for $38,000? Would you rather have a 3.8 V6 with all-wheel drive and a far superior looking interior and a much less radical design for the exterior? Or would you rather just go with the Nissan Maxima? I'll tell you right now, I'm not an import car lover, but the Hyundai's Sonata and the Hyundai Genesis have definitely, in my opinion, they're great designs, they're great interiors. I haven't had any trouble with the Azera that I leased at all, and I'm thoroughly happy with being a Hyundai customer. Like, I don't really talk about it, but it's a great car. No review from Big Truck Series Review would be complete without some mention of a Chrysler, Dodge, or Fiat product. Now, if you're a person who actually cares about your driving experience and you don't necessarily need all-wheel drive, the Dodge Charger for 2015 that's been redesigned is probably a far better buy. It starts at $27,000 and it goes up from there, but well equipped, the Dodge Charger can offer you the best infotainment system, that's navigation and all the access to your computer stuff that's in the car, the EVIC, the driver's information, and it can offer you a great rear-wheel drive driving experience that never gets boring. See, the thing about rear-wheel drive, the reason why I like rear-wheel drive cars is because it's never boring. If you live in a climate where it's not freezing cold and not snowing all the time, the Dodge Charger is a spacious car. It's at least the same size inside as the Maxima. Now, the Hyundai Genesis is larger than both the Charger and the 300 and the Maxima. The Hyundai Genesis is a very big car. So even if you did pay a little bit more for a Genesis, you'd get a much larger car than you'd get with the Charger or the Maxima. My problem with the Maxima is the CVT transmission makes the driving experience suck. Not only that, they have, it's front-wheel drive, and there's no option for all-wheel drive. If you needed all-wheel drive, you wouldn't be wanting to get a Maxima anyway. You'd most likely end up in one of their trucks, like, the Murano or something. You'd most likely end up in one of their crossovers. However, if you're looking for a car and you want a driving experience that's not boring and you want looks on the exterior of your car that gets you noticed, the Dodge Charger is something you should definitely consider. As you can see, the sticker on this Rally Edition was $33,000, and the interior is not radically designed like what you find in the Maxima. It's definitely not luxury like you find in the Genesis, but then again, the Genesis still is a couple $1,000s more. The Genesis starts at $38,000, wherein for that same $38,000 or close to $40,000, you'd be able to get a loaded V6 all-wheel drive Dodge Charger. Now, as you can see, it has this 8-inch infotainment screen. The car is spacious. The car feels good. You can get things like heated and cooled seats as options if you're willing to pay more. The Genesis actually comes with more of that because it's designed for, to be more luxury. But either one of these cars is far better than the Nissan Maxima. Now, there are people who are not going to agree with me, and there are people going to say that this is a terrible review, and there are people going to say that I don't know what I'm talking about. People who most likely have already bought a Maxima, or they have an older Maxima, and they have it in their minds that they want a Maxima. But my argument is very simply that the CVT transmission destroys the Maxima's driving experience. It makes it a boring, dull, whiny car. It's just not that exciting. I also don't like the exterior, as I've mentioned a couple of times. Now, whether you agree with me or not, and this goes specifically to the critics and haters, I'm still going to get paid one way or another. It really doesn't matter which one anybody chooses. I'm going to get my money. I'm just putting forward my opinion that the Hyundai Genesis is a better choice than a Maxima if you have the money. And you think about it, some people are going to lease this car anyway. If you lease the car, Hyundai will work with you. If you go to Hyundai and say, listen, this is what I want to pay and this is the equipment I want to get, Hyundai will work with you even if they have to give you a car at less of a value just to retain you as a customer. And I know Hyundai will work with you because I've already dealt with Hyundai before in the past. So I'm just saying, if you're going to do any level of cross-shopping whatsoever, please go take a look at the Dodge Charger and go take a look at Hyundai's Sonata, Hyundai's Azera, and Hyundai's Genesis.